Yet another letter, this time more intimate. All Ben wanted to hear. Something, anything, back from Sheila. He made no requests and made no mention of past events. Once again, he considered going to Terra Lava if no reply was forthcoming. Nai Raha, the spirit of fealty, awaited the Bergsons somewhere in Berahat. Next portal, take the warriors there. Contraptions that bring misery and infinite obscurity lay scattered, a public exhibition to all those who cross the King of Thieves. Many of the thieves were once merchants simply looking to make a living. Sand swept across the land, scraping against the stone of a monument built not from devotion, but blood and sweat. Atop it stood a Nai Raha, with the lost ruler Bushra waiting. When tormenting their own citizens was not enough, the corrupted turned to crueler entertainment. Strained music played from another unwilling entertainer, but the melody failed to hide the sound of her sizzling flesh. Having been chained and tortured, it was no surprise the poor creature would immediately flee from her liberators. Even fortune is in Rhea's hands, was all Margaret murmured. On the other side of this city of thieves was the final stretch to a Nai Raha's halls. The manipulator of the disenfranchised, the leader of rats, with fingers sharp as daggers and a soul lacking its humanity. was. No one chooses the life of a thief. The crystal was calling the hero back, through a path opened anew from the sacred city of Raha, the spirit of wind and weather. Bergson felt a strange weariness as home beckoned. The chamber groaned and trembled, darkness replacing light. Above, the family waited to eat, comfort replacing vigilance. Snatched, gone, dread replacing happiness. One body was taken, but two souls were in need of rescue. Linda felt a deep sorrow when she saw that her tree, the tree her father had planted the day she was born, had withered and died. Though when she looked upon her grandma, her sadness lessened. Margaret was always a glimmer of light in the darkest of hours. Sometimes, just as you're getting ready to leave, someone arrives and you stay for them forever. Sheila's ring drew Ben's attention. The same ring that Sheila had always said belonged to her firstborn. This man was their son? Ben could not stop staring into Joey's eyes, the eyes that he had gotten from Sheila. When Joey informed his father of the many years since his mother's passing, Ben's heart felt cold. In that single moment, with the single gulp he drank, the memory of all the years with her passed through his mind. Regret became his companion then. It was not the warmth of the drink, but his son's touch that brought him out of the coldness within. Sheila was dead, but their son was here. And this was the future. A future they had to build now, together. Joey was ready to fight alongside the other Bergsons to clear a road to that future. The fruit lay before them, gathered out of gratitude. There was nothing but a few footprints to betray who may have left it there. Joey and Mark had not known each other for long. But as happens with some young men their age, a friendly rivalry was already taking shape. Somewhere out there, surrounded by the darkness, Mary and her unborn child lay in need. The Bergsons would find them. Gluttonous and ravenous, it seized the lesser creature and took it into itself. Move, the Guardian thought, for there was no time to waste.
The forest grew quiet again, but the respite from danger was only temporary.
God, rare Danish shrine, the catalyst to all that had happened, was no doubt nearby. The creature roared, but flight was no longer on the hero's mind. The Bergson now stood their ground, ready to take action. Disbelief was not a strong enough word, and denial was not a luxury they could afford. They knew all too well that Grandma Margaret was gone. A hero may fade, but they never disappear. Their actions left to echo through an eternity, carried by those lives they touched. No one could believe that Grandma Margaret had passed away. The Bergsons shed their tears, hearts filled with sorrow. Ben and John were shocked to their core. The letter left by their mother spoke of a terrible secret, the one way to stop the corruption. The only way, she claimed, was to sacrifice their soon-to-be-born child to the god of Mount Morta. It was unthinkable. Perhaps their mother had made a mistake, had somehow misinterpreted the signs and ciphers. John thought they should keep the letter a secret for now. John did not look up, dreading even the possibility of having to look his wife in the eye. How could he tell her so terrible a truth? Mark did not know what the truth was, only that something horribly heavy was weighing down his father's spirit. And Mary, oblivious, was daydreaming about the child she would soon bring into the world. Although they were still mourning the loss of their grandma, they had to continue with their mission. 2 more spirits of Rhea needed to be freed and brought to the safety of their home. John thought they should be able to find the temple that housed Anairaha, the spirit of the winds, somewhere in the city of Barahat. Maybe he could shed some more light on the nature of the corruption and the mountain god. They could only imagine that Anairaha had fallen to the same fate as Anaidiah, imprisoned by his own companion. Destruction caused by Bushra made it clear she must have suffered the same fate as Anaidiah's sentinel, Noha. The old man explained that yesterday's secrets, and even tomorrow's legends, can be found written in the stars. Unfortunately, an eyeglass broken in yesterday's haste would not allow vision into tomorrow's unknown. The sage looked upon the Bergson for help. The nearby mines could luckily supply the materials needed to craft a new lens. All the young boy would need was someone to watch over him while he gathered them. The eyeglass replaced, the two turned back to the heavens. Tomorrow's legend resting beyond the horizon, while yesterday's secrets hid nearby. They climbed, the more the structure contradicted Anai Raha's values. To the left were Anai Raha and Bushra, a son and his betrothed. To the right was the mountain god, a father wrapped in veiled jealousy. Bushra's deep-rooted love for Anairaha would have been the crack the corruption needed. The sun baked the captive, nearly worked to death with such little water. The creature that now threatened the hero was a crudely focused inferno of hatred and malice. A shaper of stone without equal, he thanked the Bergson and asked to be visited if any wounds were in need of mending. And the sight festered inside him. But the mountain god did not expect his son to happen upon love. Anairaha, the god of the free wind, now tethered to the ground. His voice to the people is now just the warden of his prison. The air touched him, filling him and ruffling his feathers. He looked upon the Bergson, small and fragile, but so full of hope. Infectious hope. Perhaps this would be the last time. The spirit's words took life, forming images to reveal what was hidden from the Bergsons. And so it was their fate to do battle. The children of Rhea Dana, on the cusp of victory, would find their world overrun with the corrupted, drowning them. And when they could fight no more, they would bow to U's demand. For there was no salvation in fighting his corruption. By giving a heart-wrenching sacrifice, they would stay the gods' thirst for mere centuries. Vengeance would fall upon the world again, with still more cruelty and malice. Thus was another truth revealed to the Bergsons, but there was still more hidden. The children of Rhea Dana, the Bergsons' destiny, and how much of it Grandma had found out before her demise, were the subject of much speculation among the family. Speculation without certainty. When Linda told them about Mary's deterioration, they knew they had to do something to prevent another catastrophe. Mark tried to help with his knowledge of herbs. He knew that somewhere around Berahut was a tree, and an extract of its seeds might help stop Mary's chills and fever. But Berahut had surrendered to the corruption, and not even the trees were safe from it. Mary had already started studying Margaret's books of potion making and recipes before the disaster had struck. She worked through them cautiously and patiently. After all, someone had to follow in Grandma's footsteps and help the family in their efforts. On an evening just like any other, the old man appeared, followed by someone else, but it was not his apprentice. The man now carried the weight of two upon a body where youthful curiosity had been replaced by remorse and obligation. He sought safe haven with the Bergsons so that he may discover something worthy of his son's legacy. Lucy's warm embrace and her sweet kindness negated some of the chill the trials of captivity had left in Mary's bones. And when even that was not enough, her son's herbal teas sometimes helped. Soon, the Bergsons would have to face Bushra, the villainous ruler of Barahut and lover of the wind spirit. Agitated, Ben was pointing out the passes that led to the halls of Anairaha. John, however, was lost in his thoughts that only Mark could guess.